Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be working in different areas of the truck.
We're going to start with the front valance pan, or it used to have a bumper. We're going to do a valance pan, and we're going to do the dash. Actually, the dash cluster, because it's just sitting in there, and we want to make it look good. So, hope you enjoy it, and we'll get to it. I think what I'm going to do is, well, actually, I know what I'm going to do. I went and picked up some sheet metal because I didn't have enough to make a front valance pan. We're not putting a bumper back on this thing, so I got to make a valance pan to go up underneath here where the bumper would go. I went and picked up a couple pieces of metal. They didn't have nothing long enough, so I found this, and I bent one edge of it, and I did it with a round edge this time because it's going to be shown straight up, and I got to make sure I get this perfect. And then I'm going to bend it around the shape of these fenders here, and I think I'm going to make some brackets so I can bolt it in and unbolt it. That way, if we ever want to take these fenders or something apart, we don't have to cut welds and that kind of thing. So, and it looks like it's gonna fit in here pretty good. But I gotta make a bracket and grind down on all them edges and see if we can't get this in there and bend around and weld it in. All right, be back to you in a minute. I'm gonna bend this one the same way I bent the big piece, and I was gonna show you, if you use a piece of like this square tubing, this is just an old scrap piece of square tubing, it's got a round edge on it, and anytime you want to try to make a rounded edge instead of a square edge, you can find something like that and bend it around, and it works out pretty good. So let's just give it a try. Let me measure it again, make sure I cut it right before I bend it. Yeah, we're good. Inch and a half. That should be all right for now. I can straighten it out better later. Wouldn't have had to do this, but see, it just gives you a nice round edge, and I may end up making that a little tighter. I made that other bend a little tighter, but I think that'll work. So let's try it. Once I get it bent around the fender, around the edges of the fender, I'm going to wrap it all the way up underneath, and then if I need to, I'm going to cut off excess because I do have one piece too long there, and I think that's going to look pretty good once I get it completely done. And it's, I guess they call that a French bumper. I don't know why, but maybe they invented it, who knows. But we'll see what happens in a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get it wrapped around and tacked in. We'll be back to you in a little bit. All right, folks, I got it all bent around underneath there, tacked in place, and it looks pretty good. I still got a lot of welding, but I decided I'm just gonna weld it in here, keep it part of the body, and if something happens and we have to cut it apart, and I don't see why we would unless it's in an accident. So yeah, that turned out pretty good, and it actually looks, I like it. And that's gonna look good. I think I'll set the grill on there just to see how everything lines up there. Hopefully I measured right. Well, it looks like I measured right. It sets in there pretty good. Once I get it all bolted in flush, that's gonna look good. This is probably a, well, I probably shouldn't say that. This model year Ford truck, I never did like the front looks of it. Probably one of the uglier ones. I like 55, 56, 54 in that range. But it's coming. One step closer. All right, I've moved on to something else. This is my speedometer, well, the dash cluster. And this is the bezel out of the old truck. As you can see, nothing lines up. All right, and this is shaped really weird to fit in the Crown Victoria. So what I'm thinking, and I hope this works, because if I ruin this thing, it's going to cost me about $100 at a junkyard to get another one. So what I'm thinking about doing is cutting this off level. Well, not flush with this, just about a ½ inch or so above the holes here where the gauges sit, down through here, and then taking a piece of plexiglass and maybe super glue it to the face, and then if that works out okay, take the dash bezel from the old truck and cut it out here, sort of like this, so as I can open it up to where we can see all our gauges. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I hope it does, because I don't want to waste $100 here. But let me get some tools out here and see if we can't start cutting. Okay, so I put a couple of marks on here. I'm going to try to cut it with the little cutoff wheel, and we'll see how that works out. All right, I got it cut down, and all I'm going to do now is first I think I'm just going to mark out what I need to cut out there and cut that, and I'm going to take a piece of plexiglass and glue it to this, and then I got these holes here, and I'll make mounts to just mount that to there, and then this will bolt into my dash. I just got to mark this out and see where we're going to cut. I can straighten it up when I put the sander once I get it. All right, let me get this cut, and I'll be back to you in a minute. Got it cut out. Came out pretty good, and I think it's going to work perfectly, man. Look at that. That's going to look nice once it's all sanded down and painted and put up in that dash. That's going to look really good. Now we just have to cut out a piece of plexiglass to cover the gauges itself for protection, and glue it on there, and we're going to have us a dash bezel. All right, we marked this out a piece of plexiglass, and we're going to cut this. All right, we got the plexiglass cut. Might not be the complete shape of, we may have to move it around before we glue it, or grind it down a little bit more, shape it better. But once we set that on top of there and clean it up good, that's going to be nice.
All right, everyone. In the next video, we're going to continue with the dash. We got to glue it on and finish it there.
And get it, and we got to get it mounted in the actual dash. And what else we got to do?
We've got the whole rear side to finish.
A lot.
A lot
we
of
have
rear.
the step sides. We still have to get our doors on. I don't know why we keep putting this off with the doors. We need to just get them done and get them on here.
Well, we delayed it because of the stepper, but we finally got the step in.
But we will get to it. But anyways, thanks for watching, and have a great one.
We'll catch you in the next one.